Good evening. My name is Thinh Tran. I am presenting to you my operation improvement assignment number one, where today I'll be talking about the force of change and digitalization for operational improvement. Some of the things I'll be talking to you about today are what are we doing today in regards with exhibit management, and what is our current process, what is working, what is not working with that process, what will be our goal. What is our end game? What is our goal in terms of why we're making these? Why are we implementing digitization in the process of exhibit management? What is Industry 4.0 and how that can relate to us? And most importantly, what are the barriers and how can we overcome these barriers? So the first point we're talking about is what are we doing today and what's our current process? So essentially today, our process for exhibit management is quite manual. If in a scenario where we've got investigators or inspectors attend a particular scene or concurrently doing an investigation, they seize a item for the purpose of the investigation. Currently, as it is right now, is that they will bring it into one of the local office, and when I say one off, there are a lot of local offices within the state, and then log that into the exhibit room at that particular office. So the process of logging is essentially using a pen, filling out a paper form on a carbon copy book, in the hope that you pressed hard enough for the third copy to get printed on with a carbon copy. Fill in that form, and then close the book up and then put it away inside that room. And that's it. There's no process for cross-referencing. There's no way to indicate for an area from a different department, such as our prosecutors section, to know that that particular item is in existence or know what that item is about. So again, that's sort of segue into what is working and what is not working. So what is working obviously is a process that we become familiar with. That manual process we're familiar with. That's all we know. For the last 20 odd years, that's all we know. So what is not working, as I had mentioned previously, is that there is no way to cross-reference data and not cross-reference information. We don't know what is in there, what is not in there. In a recent audit that we've done, we've identified that there were things that were items in there that was been there since 2001 from investigating inspectors who no longer work within the organisation. That's 2001. That is 23 years ago, and it's still in there. So what does that mean? We're wasting storage space, and storage space does cost. So that is one thing that's not working, or things that we've seized and exhibit, but it doesn't end up in court because we don't know that it's there, or we've forgotten that it's there. So why do we seize it? Why is it? Why have we got it in the first place when we don't even present it in the court? So what will be our goal? So our goal would be to, at the end of the day, when the exhibits are seized, it serves its purpose. It serves its purpose. If it needs to be assessed at a later date because we can't assess it on site, as an example, a piece of steel that's failed a construction site, we can't get a metallurgist test done there and then. We need to send off to metallurgists to get some analysis done. So we seize it for that, or for the purpose of that evidence that it may breach the OHS legislation. And also at the end of the day, once the matter has been concluded with, it's gone. It's out of the storage. Similar to Toyota's just-in-time principle, where their model is in relation to we order parts as needed, so reduce storage costs. This is a little bit the opposite, where we minimize the time that it sits in storage. Saves us money in the long run. So if it's no longer needed, we take it out of storage. It saves. And as an example, with the things that we seize that are quite large, like let's just say like a crane as an example, where storage can cost us up to $10,000 a month. And that can stay there for onwards of 5-6 years. Does it need to be? And allows us to audit that process into saying, well, do we still need that? Our lawyers can assess, okay, so we're at the point of the court matter where we no longer need it, let's get rid of it. We apply for court order to return it back to the owner if it's appropriate, or we destroy it. So what is Industry 4.0 and how it can relate to us? So Industry 4.0 is the largest industrial revolution to date. So what is it? It integrates everything that's built up to this point, where it allows all the different types of platforms to be able to talk to each other through the internet, through artificial intelligence. So Industry 4.0 is automation, where you input a command on a computer, or we input information onto a system, an application that gets sent off over the air, to a centralized network. And then that would then talk to other parts or other applications so they can work together in harmony, so that decisions are quickly made at that particular time. So how they can relate to us is, as I mentioned previously, or just earlier, is that when exhibits are logged, or it's logged or noted on the system, a prosecutor will straight away know that it's there. Or as a manager, I would know if I get questions asked by a prosecutor in relation to what physical exhibits do we have in regards to a matter that's coming for court. That investigator is currently on leave. I know it. I know what's there. I know I straight away can answer that question, or even to the point where the prosecutor doesn't even need to make those inquiries, because the inquiries already, they can quickly search up the system and already know the answer to that question and where that item is located as well. So what are the barriers, and how we can overcome these barriers? Well, we all know what happened during the Salesforce implementation. It was a drawn out process, budgeted, it was completely blown. The investigators did not feel that they had the adequate support, nor were they heard with the ideas and issues of concern that was raised. So some of the barriers would be the fact that they feel supported. One of the biggest reasons for failed implementation of digitization is the lack of trust of the end user. So if they don't trust it, they won't use it, or they'll be reluctant or hesitation to use it. They won't give you the proper feedback because they want to know about it. So they need to feel supported. They need to know that when they're out in that field, in that farm, in the middle of an incident, in the middle of nowhere at 2:30 in the morning, they need to know that if something doesn't work, if they've accidentally pressed the wrong button, or it's not what the training tells, they're not at the point where the training tells them, they need to know that they're supported. Can they pick up the phone? Can they pick up the phone and ask someone to help, to assist in resolving the matter? 24-hour support is pivotal in all of this. Adequate training is pivotal in all of this, as well as consultation process, getting them involved in the development, getting them involved with the continual improvement of the application, so that they have some form of ownership towards it, and then they can say that this is ours. This was ours. This was what the work that we have worked together in building it to where it is today. Thank you very much for your time.